It seems like every region of the United States has its own variation on the classic hot dog, including the 8 states and 1 district served by Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. So in this series, we'll be traveling up the corridor from Washington to Boston, stopping and trying the diverse hot dogs along the way, and learning their surprisingly complicated history. Welcome everyone to Hot Dogs of the Northeast Corridor Part 1, Washington to Wilmington.
And we begin here in Washington, D.C., the southern end of the Northeast Corridor, where the local hot dog is called the half smoke.
A half smoke starts with its sausage, which comes in all sorts of variations, often including a mix of pork and beef. Generally, though, half smokes are larger and more coarsely ground than a standard hot dog, with added spices and a smoky flavor. These date back to the 1930s, when they were sold by the local Briggs and Company, and they're usually served with herbs, onions, mustard, and chili.
And apparently, the best place to get a half smoke is right here at Ben's Chili Bowl, a local establishment that's been here since 1958.
Ben's Chili Bowl was founded on August 22nd, 1958, on U Street by a Trinidadian immigrant named Ben Ali. The building itself dates back to 1911, and it was originally DC's first silent movie theater. In the late 1950s, U Street was known as Black Broadway, a hub of culture and activity, and in Ben's early days, jazz greats such as Duke Ellington, Miles Davis, and Nat King Cole would drop by the restaurant from time to time after gigs. Ben's donated food to the March on Washington in 1963, and it stayed open throughout the riots of 1968, in the wake of Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. In order to avoid being targeted by rioters, the restaurant painted the words Soul Brother on the front window. U Street experienced a long period of decline following the riots, and the region was frequented by drug addicts. Ben's reduced their staff in response to this, and allowed police officers to conduct surveillance from the building's second floor. Then, in 1989, another threat arrived on the scene: the DC Metro. When WMATA began construction of the U Street station for the Green and Yellow lines, many businesses that had survived the riots were forced to close due to disruptions from the construction. Ben's could have suffered the same fate, too. After all, the new station was being constructed literally across the street from the restaurant. But instead, they made the best out of a bad situation and stayed afloat by feeding the construction workers. Today, due to the Metro and other investments, U Street has been revitalized and gentrified. And while Ben's Chili Bowl retains its authentic late 1950s appearance, an upscale sister restaurant called Ben's Next Door has opened one door down, better matching the new character of the neighborhood. Of course, Ben's is still as crucial to the region now as it has ever been. Celebrities and even presidents have eaten there, something the restaurant is proud to display. And today, I'm joining them. I've ordered the original chili half smoke, which is $7.69, and the restaurant's most famous dish.
Cheers! That was amazing. I would give it 7 out of 8 Acela cars. Now it's time to catch the Metro from here to Union Station, where I have a 3-minute connection with my MARC train to Baltimore. Let's hope I make it. I should probably get to the front of the train just so I can have a better chance of catching the MARC train. So here in Baltimore, the regional hot dog flavor is the Baltimore Bologna Dog.
The Baltimore Bologna Dog consists of a kosher beef hot dog wrapped in a slice of fried bologna, often served with a dill pickle spear and some mustard. The idea here is that greases from both meats eventually merge and permeate their bun. Nobody knows entirely where the Bologna Dog came from, but the theory goes that the dog was invented by Nathan Ballo, a Ukrainian immigrant and bologna whiz, who opened a series of Baltimore delis in the 1930s and 40s. And now I'm off to try one for myself.
But first, friend of the channel, Jacob, is going to show me a sketchy elevator.
So the light rail, there has a little stub that connects to Penn Station and it hasn't run since COVID, and the MTA has been doing a very bad job of telling people that it hasn't been running since COVID, but it's still, the platform is still accessible because they haven't really put up any signs that say that the light rail isn't running. One of the ways to get to the platform is a staircase, but the other one is a weirdly sketchy but kind of interesting looking elevator over there next to the Dunkin' Donuts.
This is angled. There's an angle at the edge of the elevator.
And we go down.
I guess on this side too.
You got down to P because I guess they apparently, I guess for platform, not parking, but still. And once you get to the platform, anyway, I like the detail that has to do 2 bounces before we can get the welcome to.
Update, we got kicked out of the platform because we weren't supposed to be there, even though there was no sign saying we weren't supposed to be there. And now we're in front of beautiful, architecturally significant Penn Station. And I'm staring at a guy's butt. So we've discovered that the sign is pointing to the light rail that way, but the light rail is that way.
We have excellent wayfinding here, I promise.
We need to get on that train! Will they hold up the train for us? Let's hope. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Whew. Oh.
University of Baltimore, Mount Royal.
Miles would not like this. Okay, I appreciate how Transamerica acknowledged their building was boring, so they put a picture of their exciting building in San Francisco on the boring building. Now, when it comes to the Baltimore Bologna Dog, there is some controversy over how exactly it came about.
Today, we'll be visiting Atman's Deli, a kosher deli in East Baltimore, which I've heard is the #1 place to try the bologna dog. They even claim it's an old family recipe, though history doesn't seem to back them up on that. Still, they're masters of their craft. And despite showing up in the middle of the afternoon between Christmas and New Year's, Jacob and I find ourselves in a rather long line.
So the service was a little bit slow, but hopefully the dogs are worth it. We're walking to the Baltimore Metro Green Line Subway Link Heavy Rail Rapid Transit to ride that back to Penn Station. But we'll find a moment to sample these in a second. We're coming up on Shot Tower, which is a tower for making stuff.
For making shots.
Shots! 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 So it's 4:18, the train was supposed to be here at 4:15. We're gonna wait about 7 more minutes and then bail and get an Uber because my Amtrak is at 4:45.
We're getting pretty close to bail o'clock.
Yeah. The guy seemed confident that the train would come at some point.
Well, yeah.
I couldn't really hear him.
There's a train over there, it has to come back at some point. Yeah, but not necessarily in time for us.
For context, nowhere on this platform shows when the next train is coming.
And there's no service, so we can't check on our phones.
Oh yeah, there's no cell service down here either.
Or Wi-Fi.
Sorry guys, we don't get to ride the Baltimore Metro Green Line Subway Link Heavy Rail Rapid Transit on this video, but at least I get more hot dogs. I got an Uber, and it's gonna drop me off at 4:42. Train is 3 minutes late out of DC, so I have a 5-minute window to make the train.
Hot dog time?
So this is not the most dignified setting to eat this, but you know, it's hand food. I guess this is the most appropriate way to demonstrate it. This is the Baltimore Bologna Dog.
pretty good. Hot dog has like a nice snap to it, not very juicy. It is a little bit difficult to taste. You get the bologna.
I would say the best part is the roll. Oddly enough, it's a really, really good roll. The bologna just kind of blends with the hot dog. I don't really taste it independently of the hot dog. Overall, I would give this about 5 out of 8 Acela cars.
Transition. Urban highway is bad, but in this one very specific case, urban highways are good for us specifically right now.
Now we're off to Wilmington on the Northeast Regional. Wilmington! So Wilmington's signature hot dog is actually the creation of one woman. It's a fascinating story, so here it is.
The story starts in Wilmington's Hotel Oliver, where chambermaid Beulah R. Tillman began creating her own style of hot dogs. Split down the middle, these dogs were served with her signature secret sauce. They became quite popular with hotel guests, and garnered the nickname Deerhead Dogs, due to the taxidermied deer heads found in the hotel. Eventually, Beulah opened her own lunch counter, which was incredibly popular with Wilmington residents. For decades afterwards, the notorious BRT, as she became known, served up Deerhead Dogs while sporting her trademark sunglasses and usually smoking a cigarette. Some say the ashes from this contributed to her secret sauce. She was also known for running a tight ship. If you didn't have your order ready when you approached her, you had to go to the back of the line. Today, Deerhead Dogs remains a local franchise with 2 locations, and the secret sauce recipe is still kept under lock and key, accessible only by restaurant managers. I'm off to the one closest to the Amtrak station.
And here it is, the venerable Deerhead hot dogs, still alive and kicking today.
I forgot to record my rating in the restaurant, but I've literally had dreams about eating this hot dog since I had it. 8 out of 8 Acela cars. Thanks, Beulah. Now I'm off on the SEPTA Wilmington Newark line back to Newark and then home, which means this is the end of part 1 of Hot Dogs of the Northeast Corridor. And wow, when I set out to make this, I had no idea how much local history and lore I would be finding out. And what's more, the pieces of incredibly localized and personal history that we explored today are all a convenient train ride away from each other. This is why I love the Northeast Corridor so much, and I hope my journey inspires you to try some of these hot dogs for yourself. If you'd like to see part 2 of this series, featuring Philadelphia's hot dog, which is considered among the worst in the country, as well as Newark's odd light rail system and a quest for the best hot dog in New York, consider subscribing and joining my Patreon or Ko-Fi. You guys are the reason I can do adventures like this. Stay classy, always keep an eye out for local adventures, and take care until the next one.